right, welcome back to another episode of Stories from the Dirt post 2024 Rebelle Rally here with Cara and Danielle. You guys are second rookies this year, 19th,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
That's
Yep,
easy
we
for me to
survived.
remember. That's
We're-
easy for me to remember because my rookie year, I was second rookie and 19th. So
Oh,
Oh,
we're
wow.
twinning. We're twinning. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
did
No.
not know that.
Yeah. Although my year they only gave top rookie a trophy, so I don't have a trophy or an accolade. So there you go.
Oh, well,
How do you
I got a
How
nice little one.
you got a nice little one?
A nice little glass one. Says second
Yeah,
rookie.
they're
It's
pretty.
pretty.
Yeah. So how did it feel? Second rookie up on stage in your nice dresses.
It was fun. I wish you would have been at the gala. It was a blast. It was so, I don't know, it was just fun seeing everybody dressed up after a week of slumming it.
Yeah.
I had a really hard time recognizing people. I was like, I don't know
Right?
that I know who you are, but
Who are
I
you?
think
Could you
I
put your
do.
helmet on so I
Yeah,
can
put your helmet on, then I will recognize you. Take your makeup off, then I'll know who you are.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And you don't know
You
like
know,
who the sponsors and corporate people are versus, I mean, obviously the guys, that they weren't on the rally, but
Yeah.
yeah.
everybody else, you're like, are you a competitor or were you, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was exhausted this year. I wanted to go, but there was like it got down to the wire and I was just like I just don't think I can do another loud room.
Hmm.
Get that.
And so it just I needed sleep. I came home and in the first like 3 days, I think I logged over 30 hours of sleep. So,
Oh, dang. You beat me
yeah.
by far.
Yeah. I'm still like just rounding out back down to like 8 hours a night. I think 2
Hmm.
nights ago I was sleeping still 10 hours a night. So,
Wow.
but I'm like a professional sleeper. I can I can sleep.
That's
So,
Oh,
funny.
but yeah,
yeah.
so my most shocking moment of my rookie gala is the video that they put together, the
Oh, yeah.
quality and just the emotions that they pull out in you. Isn't it
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
amazing?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really loved that video. And then just sitting there looking at all those pictures that were scrolling across the screen, it
Yeah.
was like gave me goosebumps. It was
Yeah.
incredible.
I knew
Yeah.
that the dust and the silt, whenever we were in the rally, because of what we do with, YouTube and stuff, I automatically knew the kind of images and video they were going to be getting because whenever I hated driving during it, but
Yeah.
I knew that the videos were going to be epic. And so I found myself like watching this. It's huge cinematography up on the screen, and then they like started playing the silt, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
so cool. It was
It was
I
cool.
mean,
amazing. Videography, cinematography, all that was mind blowing.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's a
Yeah.
small team. Like it's a crazy
Yeah.
small team.
It is. Yeah. For what they do and for what they produce.
Yeah.
In such a short amount of time, that was
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is pretty amazing.
I can't wait to get
All
that back.
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So, this was your rookie year. Obviously, we just covered that. Going in, you had expectations, but did reality meet your expectations? How was it better and how was it not as good?
Hmm.
You
I
want to
don't know.
answer that?
I think it exceeded all my expectations.
Mhm.
Okay.
Even in the lack of sleep, that exceeded my expectations. Literally, that was bad. That was really bad. And I think because I was just so anxious about what's the next day going to bring, and because I was a rookie, and it was just so overwhelming, and literally every possible aspect of breathing and living that I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And
I think you had like opportunity to sleep, but I think we were just so wound up from either the day or the next day that you just couldn't sleep.
I just couldn't.
Yeah.
No matter what I did, trying to clear my mind, my noise machine right next to my head, and just to block out all the noises. It wasn't, people didn't keep me awake, none of
Right.
that. It was
Yeah.
just cannot turn my mind off, no matter how tired I was.
Hmm.
And I think that affected, my decision making and navigating, because sometimes I was especially going towards the end, I was so exhausted and almost like over it, done,
Yeah.
that, decision making towards the end was just like, I can't, I mean, the last couple days, I was like, I can't even, I don't know. I've never been that exhausted, not even with newborns. It goes way above and beyond that. But other than that, food for me was exceptional. The tents were absolutely mind blowing. The base
Mhm.
camps were absolutely mind blowing and breathtaking. It was
Yeah.
just beautiful. Just every detail to me, I think, like really exceeded my expectations. How hard it would be exceeded my expectations. Literally everything. I don't know. I don't know how Kara feels, but it was everything.
Yeah. Kara?
Yeah, it was beautiful. The tents, the lady that is over that whole team, she always
Stephanie.
puts us, yeah, Stephanie. I was thinking that was her name, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, she puts out the sign, that says "Welcome home," and it honestly feels like that. Me and Danielle had a moment whenever we were out during one of the days. I think it was after a marathon, and it was just, I think it was after we were doing a transit around Vegas or something, and we were just like couldn't wait to go to the next base camp because it felt like home, and it felt like you had this grounding. So that was just really cool to see. We've watched a lot of the lives, and so it was neat to see these people in person and just be able to see all of it that happens behind the scenes. Exhausted is an understatement. I'm still catching up on sleep. I was up, with you sometimes before you, Avis, at like 2 a.m. in the tents because I wanted to make sure Danielle had a great spot. And so that just, and then going to bed, like I didn't go to bed like super early because I was journaling. But
And then y'all got
yeah,
in
I was
trouble for
sleepy.
getting in the tents
Yeah.
too
Yeah,
early. She put her
I
foot
was
We knew
down.
it
I
so
was
was like,
coming.
yeah.
I was so thankful for that, honestly.
And
I
listen,
was
I
super,
told you to stop doing that and you wouldn't. I'm like, I'll take a different table. I don't care.
yeah. But it
No.
wasn't just me. Like it's not, I wasn't the creator of this morning table. So, I mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't because of me that she
Yeah.
stopped it. Um,
No.
it had
They've
been
been
going on for a
threatening.
while. Yeah.
Yeah. It was coming. It was coming. And it
Yeah.
wasn't that bad the morning that they shut it down and we could only get in like 10 minutes
No.
early, but like being a contact lens wearer, like I did
Yeah.
have like it did sort of disrupt the routine that I had been in. Like I had been getting up early and because my stomach gets really weird from the rally
Yeah.
food. While it's very good, it's just different
So
than
good.
how I eat at home. And so my stomach gives me issues, and so I was getting up and just sort of walking in the mornings, like just
Mhm.
walking around in the tent and pacing and just getting in a little movement and
Yeah.
waking my body up. So I did have a hard time with that schedule kind of being changed, but other than that, like it really wasn't that bad. We all just walked in and found a table, and
Mhm.
there was no elbows being thrown. I was a little concerned. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, what I had another question and I just derailed my own thoughts. Um, yeah.
It was a good year.
So,
It was so much fun. Besides the sleep aspect and, I think that we both trained really, really hard this past year. And so we were very fortunate to have really good mentors that
mm,
told us, what their experiences have been like. And so other than some rookie things that you can't learn without doing it, I feel like we were really prepared as far
yeah,
as like, you know, expectations being exceeded versus not. You can't simulate like that level of exhaustion, especially towards the end of your rally. I mean, minus like cutting away all sleep and making it now that you kind of know and running your brain, all day long. It's hard to recreate that and prepare for that. And
yeah,
so, other than that, I think that was I think we kind of knew going into it what to expect.
yeah. My second year, I went in with a rookie and, I learned that year that that's what you can't teach. You can teach
Hmm.
somebody how to navigate. You can let them know what to expect for driving. You can let them know what the day is going to look like, but you can't prepare them for the lack of sleep and
Yeah,
the enormous amount of stress.
yeah,
Um, It's
Because that
just
even
like you
makes you
said.
exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the whole thing is designed to exhaust you mentally, physically, emotionally. And I like to tell rookies when they're having a breakdown and, maybe disagreeing with their teammate, this is your rally brain speaking. This is not your
Hmm.
otherworldly brain. This is just your
Right.
rally brain. And 8 days from now, you're gonna look back and be like, I was just so exhausted, I couldn't handle it well.
And this was
And
dumb.
then, yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
how did you guys get along in the car? Were there any tense moments that you didn't expect?
Yeah,
Because
we
I
had
know
a couple.
going in, you were kind of like, no, we're great friends. It's going to be great. And I
Still
find that
agree.
a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I mean, yeah, you're great friends and it's going to be great, but there's tension that you probably maybe didn't expect. Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
did
day
you?
four. Day four was
Day
rough.
4?
I mean,
day four.
I think we knew that there was going to be that opportunity, right? You can't be in that high
Yeah.
level of stress and like, both like with driving and with navigating, like you're going to have something, but it
Mhm.
was just like we knew that our friendship would that didn't matter, that won't matter. It won't change
It won't
anything, but
affect it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it didn't affect it. At least it didn't for
Good.
me. Yeah,
No.
it didn't affect us in that aspect.
Now
Like,
she's asking. She's like,
wait, I
Right.
need to ask first. Hold up.
Had you not
it did
discussed
it
that
for
before?
wink twice. If you're
Uh,
Kara, are you still feeling safe?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, but I think that's something else that rookies kind of I find a lot of rookies are naive about that. But you guys obviously have come
Yeah,
through with shining colors, realizing it's your rally brain and not your friendship brain talking in those
yeah.
tense moments. And yeah,
I think I
everybody's just trying to
lost
do
my
their best.
brain at
You
some point
lost
on the
it?
route. Yeah, I think I lost it. Like, I, it was just gone. It was mush. I couldn't,
She couldn't
nothing.
even
I
look
had
at her
nothing.
maps. She was like, the maps are even like getting hard to
I was
like
just
she
like opening my eyes, rubbing my eyes, eye drops. I'm like, the exhaustion was real.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Avis, like I'm a professional sleeper and I was sleeping anywhere from 3 to 5 hours a night. And I'm a professional sleeper like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
I
function
was like
well.
5 to 7 hours a night.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wednesday was probably our hardest day, and knowing and hearing from Danielle what people were talking about in the tents, that was everybody's hardest day. I think Danielle said the Hohen sisters said that that was their hardest day in 9 years. I think that's that same
I
day.
think yeah, it was the Hohens that said that, I believe.
So I feel like we were in good
Yeah.
company.
Yeah, and
Yeah. That's the
apparently like going back and looking at our score from that day, like, I thought at first that was my day of my first time ever magic mapping. And so I experienced that and put us, I don't even know, 10 kilometers away from where we should have been. It was really impressive magic mapping, I must say.
So magic mapping, for those that don't know, is like whenever
Yeah.
you're looking at the terrain and you're looking at the map and you're making it match. You're
It
like, I'm right
literally
where I'm supposed
matched.
to
It was
be.
incredible. I mean, my distances on the trails matched, everything. It was really impressive how well I did it. So
yeah.
I mean, at least I did it well. Um, so
I think there's a theme. Like no matter what we did it well.
no matter what we did it great. We,
Perfect.
yeah, we were number one. Um, but yeah, that was really a tense day. But looking at those scores, like I think that day we got 59%, and then I go back and look at like the very top teams, what they scored were, I don't know, upper 70s or something, or mid
Yeah,
70s. I don't even remember. And I'm like, okay, okay, that
Yeah.
wasn't horrific.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Usually if you're having a bad day, everybody else is having a bad day.
But
mhm.
it just, and that's part of the rally too. Like it just feels like in those moments, I think those are pivotal moments for teams because you can either internalize that and you can be like, no, this was my bad day. Nobody else gets these bad. You can just solely focus on how crappy you think you did, that you can just stay in that cycle and stay in that mental space. Or you can do what Danielle and I did, have that moment that evening, next morning wake up and realize today's a new day. We're going to use the crap yesterday and make today a little bit better and
Hmm.
just keep moving. Like I think Laura Wanless said
Yeah.
it about how you just have to keep going. Like no
Yeah.
matter what you do, you have to find that inside yourself and keep going. And I think that's a huge piece of the game that some people don't learn that until they're out there.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one big long game, but each day is different. Like one day is chess, the next day is checkers, the next day is Monopoly, right? And so like
Yeah.
you can be
Hmm.
better at one than the other, and so a bad day doesn't mean that your next day is going to be bad. It just
Yeah.
means you
Hmm.
had a bad day.
Yeah.
You just gotta let
So,
it go.
yeah, suck it up,
Ideally,
buttercup,
the
and move
bad day would
on.
be prologue, but
Prologue was, yeah. Next year we're just
prologue
gonna
is
do.
like marbles or something. It's like the
Next year
easiest
we're
thing.
doing bad on prologue. We are not doing well on prologue next year. Not,
I
no.
wonder,
I need a
I
later
wonder,
start time.
I wonder how that's going to go down though, because like you said, it's all this game and you never know what it's going to be like next year. Well, this year, Matt had told me from watching with the guys that a lot of the people, like the competitors, botched that first day. And so they were wondering how Chrissy was going to think about that so that they would be putting in different, groups. And so I have a feeling something's going to change to where you don't really want to do that. Like, and that's honestly, that's never my goal. I can't speak for
No.
Danielle, but I think as a
No.
teammate, okay, I think as a teammate, we want to just go hard every day because why
Yeah,
Hmm.
would you not? Like, I don't want to be in a different, I don't care. So, like, I already know that my sleep is going to suck. And
Yeah.
so, like, I don't care if I need to get up later or earlier. I want to go hard because that one day, prologue, maybe not. But the first day, I know some people still didn't do good that first day because I think in that same mentality, that still counts in your overall weekly points. And so it's like, I don't
yeah,
want to jeopardize anything.
yeah. That's points you're leaving out there.
Hmm.
Yeah. And at the end of the week, those points can be a helper.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. This year it was close, right there where we were
Oh,
all in. It
wow.
was like, 2, 3 points separating
Hmm.
positions.
Yeah,
So
all those
every point
teams, like in
matters.
the teams, yeah, and
Yeah,
they were just, you know, 2, 3 points, 10 points, 11 points, 12 points. Like they're all just separated by one or two
Hmm.
checkpoints,
Yeah.
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, it's crazy.
And I
Alright,
think
so
that's
jump
really cool as far as like, sorry, let me just say this
no,
real
go ahead.
quick. Um, I think there is like I am so like in amazement of the top teams. But every year I feel like those top teams are still the top teams. And so I feel like now the eye is being watched on how these other teams are getting better. And I think that's a
Mhm.
different viewpoint. And I think that's something that I really enjoyed seeing for myself this past year is you kind of know that those top teams they're good for what they are and but every year but the meat and the potatoes of this rally is that 5 to 20 standings and watching those people and how they're learning about being better drivers, being better navigators,
Yeah.
who they are as people, I think that's so much more beautiful than just sitting there and watching the top do the same thing every year. Sorry
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Nina and
No, no.
Terralyn, but that's what I feel.
I
I
mean, it is really cool, but at the
yeah,
But
same
it's
time,
it's
you are
expected.
right. You
Yeah,
you're
it's
right.
fun to
Like
watch
it's
them duke it out, and
yeah.
and I enjoy
yeah,
Or
supporting
the
them.
upsets, like if you're like,
Yeah,
yeah.
like Melissa Clark not taking craft class this
I
year. I
know,
mean, a Subaru winning for the first time. Like that to me is super exciting.
it's
Not that
huge.
Melissa Clark came in second or her and Catherine, but just it was a competition for them this year, right? Like
Yeah,
it wasn't like, oh,
they had to
Melissa's
fight
here
for it.
and she's gonna
Yeah.
win. Right. Yeah.
It's
And
cool to
and so
see
I
it.
do like that. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
Terralyn and Nina not taking first last year. Everybody was like, what? Oh my God.
I
And
know.
and then they're like, they wide missed on 2 blues. What? I mean, like, so it's like, yeah, the top teams are not a shoo-in, but you're right. Like, so you're like, okay, well, these are the top 5. What order, like, how are we
How's
shuffling
that
them
going?
around this year? And so, yeah, watching that middle section is fun. And being a member of that middle section is fun. Like, we see teams out there and we know they've been right above us or right below us, but we still like partner up and share information and
Absolutely.
and it's just fun and not everybody
Yeah.
does it exactly the same way, and every year I come away and get out my little notebook and I write my list of things I learned and what would I do different next year and what would I do the same. And like this year in the last 6 weeks, like I trained my butt off.
Yeah,
Um, you guys trained and like training shows up in the rally. Like your
Mhm.
absolutely.
training and the work that you put in, like it shows up.
You can
Mhm.
never
So
not be trained enough. Like, I think you can always learn something. And if you start getting that mentality of there's nothing more to learn, then you need to find something different because you're in the wrong field. This is all learning. I told Matt,
you're in the
you
wrong
know, before,
life.
yeah, I told him, I was like, you need to watch this X Cross group. That's going to be fun. Like,
Yeah.
don't, yeah, I know you're going to be watching me, like, but you
Yeah.
need to also watch this X Cross. And after seeing it and knowing that there was only what 6 teams this year, I was like, maybe we should get an X Cross.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it would be
Oh,
a lot of fun.
that's
So,
really competitive. Those
Yeah.
girls, those ladies.
yeah, yeah, it is. And they push those cars to the limit.
Hmm.
So, it is fun to watch.
Mhm.
It is.
But jumping back into our previous conversation, I heard Danielle, I think it was mentioned next year. So, are you guys competing again next year?
Yep, we signed
Already
up.
Good.
signed up.
Yeah,
Already signed up?
yep,
Yay.
Yeah, we were laying by the pool recovering. Like I was in the hot
on
tub and she
Sunday.
was, yeah. And I was like, so next year. And so I had texted her that earlier and she's like, yeah, let's do it. And it was really funny going like before this because I knew like 2025, we had friends coming back to 2025 that had competed
Mm,
in the past that we want to do it with them.
Yeah,
So I knew before then that I really wanted to do it next year, but Danielle was kind of like, it's expensive. I mean, and that's honest for anybody. And
yeah.
so like I was just like, okay, I don't know how she's gonna feel. And so when I asked her and she's like, yeah. And after the rally that we had, because it ended not exactly how we had thought, that I was a little concerned. And so even up
Yeah.
on the mountain that last day, she was like, I was talking to her and I was like, so next year up on the mountain, and we can get into that in a minute if you want to discuss
Yeah.
the mountain. But like, I was just like, next year, and she's like, don't talk to me right now. She was like, don't talk to me. I was like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
just think about it for us.
Yeah, the mountain. So there was a checkpoint up there worth 10 points, and Liz and I had just a
Nine
slim
points,
amount
I
of
think.
time. Oh, right, 9 points. You're right. We had just a slim amount of time, and we talked about going for that. And when we drove by and we see you guys up there, I was like, yeah, no, let's just go to base camp. I was like, so you guys cost us 9 points. No, I'm just kidding.
You're
That was our
that
welcome.
own decision.
that blue was, um, we got it, got
Yeah.
it.
It
That's
wasn't
a,
on the tracker. That's a whole
it
nother.
wasn't. That was really
No, no.
frustrating. Um,
It's
I
okay.
mean, it doesn't matter. It didn't affect our standings. We would have still lost Rookie of the Year by 1 point.
Yeah.
But that was frustrating, yeah, because we went past it, clicked the tracker, let's
Honked at
go,
Matthew, like
honked
beep
at
beep.
Matthew. We're like, hey Matthew, and
Yeah.
he's like, woo, and clicked it, and I mean, we're like right there, like
Bye.
1 foot from it, drove right past it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
because when I saw it, like I knew when
Mhm.
I plotted it that morning, I was like, oh, I know exactly where this is because we camped right at the base there, and I was
Yeah.
like, I know exactly where it is. So, so yeah, but that was frustrating that it didn't show up on the tracker.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a
Sucked.
couple tracker issues. I think you have to be pretty vigilant with the trackers. They say that they rarely mess up, but I do think, you really have to be vigilant about it and paying attention.
Well, that's why they
Yeah,
And
provide that
so
opportunity for us
frustrated.
to like, you know, to submit inquiries with
Which we
Melanie. Like, I
did
think, yeah, I mean, I
because I
think
mean,
there's,
we got the
yeah,
eye, like held it down, seconds counted down, got the eye, got the
yeah.
time. I wrote down the time, but not the coordinates because I was like, it doesn't matter. We're
we
like
don't have time.
literally right here. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna wide miss or
Yeah.
not. We're going.
Right.
So So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how we didn't get it, but yeah, we submitted the inquiry, but Chrissy said it was too late. Which again, it
Yeah.
wouldn't have affected our standing, but we would have lost Rookie by 1 point instead of 10.
Yeah. That might feel worse.
Hmm.
Okay, so for anybody not aware, there was a checkpoint. It was high on a not really a mountain, but a land outcropping that was fairly steep on one side,
Mhm.
and not as steep on some other sides, and you guys chose as a team to come down the
Mhm.
steep side, which ended not the best. So
No.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about the feelings that were going through your minds at that moment in time. I mean, we all know when we're driving off road there are risks, and sometimes
Absolutely.
the risks bite you in the butt. Everybody knows my
Mhm.
truck was nearly totaled about 30 days out, and
Ugh.
so I have recently dealt with the risks.
Yeah.
So you guys were on the side of a
Mhm.
really steep face, basically.
Yeah. We we had went to try to get the blue. I can't remember the number of the blue that was like right before that after in that long next to the border. There was like a boundary line that we tried to get a blue to there. And we had already went and got the green, which we were just trying to be very good with our time management. And so we hunted around for this blue. We were either going to get that blue, we were going to get the blue that was close there to base camp and then get base camp. And then that was going to be when we called it, obviously, at base camp. And
Right.
we tried and tried and tried to find this blue, which come to find out afterwards, Bryce, Danielle's husband, was like, "Why did y'all not click the blue? You were basically
Apparently
on
it
it."
was
We're
right
like,
behind us.
it's
Oh,
funny when you're out there, you like can't if you and you don't know it may have been a rebar piece, that we just it was the last day, so who knows? They're not all flags. And
yeah.
so anyways, we didn't get that one because we wasted a lot of time just trying to find it and just the navigation there. It's hard to get from one side of, where King of the Hammers is all the way back to base camp, and you have this limited amount of time.
Yeah.
So you just have to play that game of what strategy and how you're going to go after what. And so we saw that that was no longer an option. And so we were like, well, let's just go to base camp, So we started headed that way. Well, then Danielle looked at that blue checkpoint and she was like, we could get this. It's right. And then we saw like another Ford performance team going after. We're like, oh, and then she saw the flag. I didn't even see the flag. I was like, okay, where do you see it? And then once I saw it, I was like, I saw some of the teams trying to go up this, like it was like this mountain and then another little mountain. And
Yeah.
then I decided to take a tail on the far left because it was not as steep. And so it got us up there. I think even before that Ford performance, I think we were the first team up there. And then from there, it was just like, okay, bye, Matthew. We got to get to base camp because we had, I
Yeah.
think, 15, 18 minutes before base
Mhm.
camp closed.
Yeah.
And so we got up there and honked at Matthew and was like, we kept on going on the main. Once you got up there, it was like a little bit of a spaghetti spider
Mhm.
web of how do you get down. And I was like, I want to go back down the way we came. But Danielle had seen that end side where we ended up going down at the end. And she was like, I just saw a vehicle go down. But what we didn't realize is that on the back side is where a lot of the teams were coming up it and going down it. And so we didn't even see that side because we were so
Mhm.
focused on the road in front of us. And not
Yeah.
only that, there was like a little side right past where the blue marker was. So there was multiple options, and
Yeah.
so yeah, we ended up going down not the best option, but that's that's part of it, right? Like we learn throughout this whole rally, and I told Danielle and I've told Matt and other people, I was like, that decision did not get us rookie or second place or any of that. Like
No.
we could have changed. We could have gotten that checkpoint that morning. There was a blue over in the dunes that morning that we never found, and we spent some time on it, like through like earlier in the week. Like I said, every point matters, and so
Yeah.
like we
Everything
could have,
matters.
yeah, we could have made that up. And honestly, up on that mountain, I think that was one of my really pivotal moments in realizing my perspective. And as hard as the competition is, Rookie of the Year for us, we trained our butts off. And I think that would have been the easier win for us. And I think had we not learned this and us got second place, and I'm speaking for me here, I learned so much more about what's really important as far as me and her being safe, us at the end of the day, learning who we are as her as a navigator, me as a driver, and us as friends.
Mhm.
That that's so much more valuable than a
Yeah.
title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
agree
like to say
with
everybody
everything.
makes mistakes. Some mistakes are more visible. right? Like you were
And
just kind of
I wouldn't even call it a mistake, honestly. Like, I think it was a choice. Was it
mhm.
a choice for us to win Rookie of the Year? Yes, we probably, if we would have, but I like the choice that we made, although it wasn't the easiest, especially in that moment. And I know Danielle cried for like 3 hours up on that mountain,
I
and
did.
I've cried several days after that,
Yeah.
like it just, like, there is a little bit of a loss, but in the grand scheme of everything, the choice that we made taught us so much more.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I
I'll let
agree.
Danielle fill any
With
pieces
all
in.
that, with all that, I agree with all that,
I
actually.
hear a ditto, a ditto.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
probably talked a lot. I've had a lot of, I've thought about this a lot. So,
Hmm.
Yeah, it's easy now that it's over to go back and be like, okay, well, if I had taken this route instead of that route, or if I had done this instead of that, like
oh,
hindsight
shoulda,
is
coulda, wouldas.
2020, right? Hindsight is 2020, and to be able to look back, and that's why like I always come away with um more than, "Oh, I should have done this during my rally," I come away with, "If I do it again, this is what I would like to
Mhm.
focus on, and
Absolutely.
this is my goal," and, like, every year you're
Yep.
trying to improve, and you have to identify what major areas you wanna improve, and so,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's what I like to come away with, my
Absolutely. And
list.
I think I know Danielle worked on that every day. In her journal, she kept, like notes of what things she can learn better next year and what she can work on. And as far as a driver, we've said going into this, we're both very, very good drivers. But even in that moment, I learned, and I had discussions with Emily about, like, I never got out to check it for myself. Whenever I wanted to go back down, I didn't get out and say Velveeta. Like, I didn't use
Hmm.
Yeah,
our code. I didn't use our code word. And so, I mean, like, I made my own choices in that as well. And so, like, I learned. And
yeah,
I think it's going to make us even more competitive next year.
yeah.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
We're
Yeah. I
Yep.
coming
mean,
for you, Nina.
you've learned to play the game now. Oh, they love it. They're gonna be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Bring it,
They're
ladies,
so
bring
fun.
it."
Oh my
Yeah,
Yeah.
gosh.
yeah. Um, that's great. That's great. So, it's been said that the rally is life-changing, and I'm a little bit on the outs, of this by opinion. I don't believe it was life-changing for me, but, Danielle, what would you say? Was it life-changing for you, and if so, how?
No, it wasn't life changing for me.
No.
It
Okay.
was
Y'all
an
are so
incredible.
similar. It's funny.
It was one of my top favorite experiences in my life, and will probably continue to be that forever.
Mhm.
Um, was it life changing for me? Um, it's life changing in the fact that I now know how to navigate from map and compass. Yes, that
Around
was.
Vegas.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm always a little confused how it's life changing for people. This is gonna might make me sound kind of like an asshole. But I think this is gonna make me sound like an asshole. I don't
I
think it is.
probably agree with you, so don't worry.
Okay. Like, have you people not done hard stuff in your life?
Okay,
Because I
good.
do some
Yeah.
really hard, gnarly, nasty, hard stuff. Was this like the hardest thing I've done for over a consecutive period of time? Yeah, it was. I've never done something that hard for that long. But I'm thinking, how did it change your life? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so do
Cara
you
Cara's
agree with
gonna be
me or
like,
am
"It's
I an asshole?
life-changing." No, I agree with you. There's been so many other things in my life that once they've happened, I could not live my life the same after that. To me, that is life-changing. When I got
Yeah,
married, my life was different for forever and more, and when I had children, my life was different for forever and more. There's some pivotal moments in my childhood that, set my life on a different course, where the rally is just like you said, it's an experience. It's one of the hardest experiences I voluntarily do repeatedly,
correct.
but it's just an experience, and it's a chance for me to use all of my life skills from many of
Yes,
those pivotal moments that are life changing and put them all into a ball and practice them together.
I agree. You
So
put it in words much better than me, something I'm not good at.
I'm not usually. I've been thinking about this for years though. So,
Well,
all
you
right,
put it
Cara,
well.
lay it on us. How is it life-changing? Was it life-changing for you?
I think y'all already know that I'm the middle person in this little sandwich over here. Like I have both of y'all on both sides of me, and I'm listening to y'all, and I'm like, I'm
We
about
need
to
your
turn
feelings.
the world.
We
Yeah, I'm about
need
to,
your feelings.
I'm the feeling oriented one here. So as far as life changing, I totally can see what y'all are saying, and I totally understand that side.
Ooh, she's diplomatic too.
She is.
I know.
But at the end of the day, like, yeah, I think it was life changing for me because while I've done hard things, I've had a kid, I may not have traveled to some of the things that y'all have done or put myself in situations that y'all have to have these major events. It was life changing to me because I realized a lot of stuff at my core, like I can do things that I never like, and I am really good. Like, and I think I sat down with Emily Miller the Saturday of the gala because I woke up like I couldn't sleep all night the night before because I was thinking about the mountain, and she was just like, I think every rally it teaches you something, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it's small as far as like I need a different magnifying glass, like it's not all going to be these life-changing things. But for me, it was. For me, I realized, I'm a really good driver and I need to listen to my gut. And that goes beyond the driving skills for me. I have always had not a lot of confidence in who I am as a person. And so I think if I don't allow that to really sink into me, then it's not life changing. But if
Mhm.
I sit there and I take everything that I've learned and I sit there and I evaluate it through the lens of the rally in my life, like that is life changing.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's very well said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
I accept that. That for
Well,
some
thank you. I'm
people,
so glad.
yeah, yeah. For some people, it really is like they're very
Yeah.
a lot more introspective, and it
Mhm.
really has like this life-changing effect
Yeah.
on them.
Well, if
Um,
it doesn't, like Jimmy Lewis, I got to write Danielle, bless her heart. It was so cold when that sun set. She rode down in a side by side with nothing on, and she's wearing shorts and sleeveless. Like it was really bad.
It
But
was
I
so
rode down,
cold.
I rode down with Jimmy Lewis, and he was just like, Jimmy Lewis is just great. Like you don't expect these guys on this rally to have like really deep thoughts. Maybe they are, but it's just like, we're a bunch of girls. We have all of the emotions and all the feelings. Well, Jimmy Lewis is like taking me down in his truck and he has the windows rolled down and I'm like, "Can we roll the windows up?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." He's like, "Didn't even realize they were still rolled down." But anyways, he was just like, people go through their whole life without learning consequences and having those moments. And he's like, that's kind of sad because you never grow. And so, like,
Hmm.
this moment, even like as we were headed to the finish line, like what we say on camera, everything that we do, like, I'm of that person that, like, we are representing something so much bigger than ourselves for these little girls that are watching us back home and looking up to us as role models. I want them to realize that it's not all easy. And what
yeah.
you take from that is like, is huge. And so I wanted to take the consequence, and I wouldn't even call it a consequence at this point. Like I said, I view it as a pivotal moment. Like it could define you, and just like your bad day in the rally can define, your rest of your rally. It's all in that perspective and that mind change. And so I think it again was life changing and it's beautiful. And for Jimmy Lewis to have that conversation, it was really cool.
And it
Yeah.
could be very easy to just, after the way our rally ended, we had an amazing week. It was
Hmm.
truly incredible. But we very well could have just hung up our hat after the way it ended and be like, to hell
Not
with
doing this
this, we're
again.
never doing it again,
That
because
was our
that was
one time.
horrible. That was horrible. Well, the ending was like, yeah, there's a lot of growth with the way our
Hmm.
rally ended.
Yeah.
Um, and it would be very easy to just not do it again.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's yeah, everything Kara said, but oh, my AirPods. Edit
Well
time.
then, now we
I
can't
think
hear
they're
you.
I
Damn
think
Now
they're
you're
still
muted.
working.
Yeah, I heard you just fine with them in.
Yeah, put them back in.
Yeah. Can you hear us? She
Put them
can't hear
back
us.
in.
Now
Put
I
them
have
back
to
in.
edit. Yeah, they were working just fine.
Oh, one of them is working then.
There we go. I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, sorry. I don't
that's
know
okay.
what's going on with my right AirPod. It keeps dying. They were 100% when I put them on.
Now I have to edit. You
I'm
screwed me
sorry.
over. No, I'm kidding.
Meh.
I'm totally kidding. Um, so what I find unique about the rally versus everyday life, Rob and I have been together for over 30
Showers.
years.
I found that
Well,
unique.
not showers. But you're putting like you guys worked together through every training and stuff like that, but you put a lot of trust in your finances, your safety, your decision making in another person that you're not really linked to for life, right? Like
Mm,
you're just friends. And so how is that? Like cuz you're both married and you've been married to these great men for some time now, but here you're trusting another woman, a non-family member, somebody who, you know, like I find that to be an interesting dynamic for the rally. Was that hard
yeah.
for you guys?
It wasn't hard. I think if we hadn't become such very close friends in the years, leading up to this, yeah, that would be really hard to do. I don't know how people do this, one with strangers, but because we had trained so much together, got to know each other personally, I mean, hung out together, just having fun together, traveling together. Our husbands are great friends. Um, it was not hard to put trust into all those things for me,
Nice.
not at all.
No, and I hear this question, and it makes me a little sad because for me and Danielle, like it's not just friends. Like I
Hmm.
knew before this rally going to this, our relationship, like this isn't just for the rally. Like we are always talking and we are not just training together. We're spending like life together and this rally and like what we decided to go into has made us have this relationship, but it's so much more than that. And so
Hmm.
it's not training just for the rally, or it's like you put this trust into this with another person and you can just walk away. That makes me sad because like that I feel like as a person that's just hard for me to fathom. And I get
Mhm.
that it doesn't always work out for people, and I understand that. And that's probably the fixer in me,
Yeah.
wanting to make everybody happy and be best friends and hold hands around a campfire at the end of the day. And I know that that's not going to happen. But me and Danielle started this relationship and this teammate partnership thing with something deeper. And I think that we're both very fortunate to have that, that it's not just a friend.
I
She's like
always
a
say
Nice.
that,
sister.
yeah, I always say we have more like a sister relationship
Hmm.
where you fight with your sister and maybe you don't want to talk to her and she's dumb and she doesn't know anything. And,
Wow.
but I'm just, I'm just throwing out all these
Tell
things.
me more.
No, I'm talking about yeah, sometimes I would think that. So, not about you, Cara, not about you,
I
but
don't
yeah,
know,
Remember
man. I don't know,
everything I
man.
just said? I take it back. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. But no, like we do have more of like a sister relationship, I think, where, or maybe you do argue or you fight over something, which Kara and I don't really fight. I feel like
We get
we
emotional,
we get we're people think I'm not emotional. I am a highly emotional person, which Kara can
especially
vouch
when she's
for.
upset,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
which is the
And
only emotion that you see sometimes. So that's
it,
like something.
sometimes that's the only one you see. But yeah, we definitely have more like a sister relationship where
You've seen it.
we
You've seen it
overcome
after
it.
day
You
four,
saw it,
Avis.
Avis.
Yeah, yeah.
We overcome it, and it's like, well, just because I'm mad at you or don't like what you said doesn't mean I don't love you. And,
Right.
She
and
actually said
it's,
that after our worst day, that was
yeah,
another pivotal for a moment for the rally. Like, she's like, I can't talk about this much. So she gets in her, she's like, I'm so thirsty, blah, blah, blah. Because it was like, it was at Dumont Dune. So it was like
this
108
is
or
so
something.
funny. I
And
forgot about it.
I'm sitting in there in the tent and I'm like, she says she's
I hear her
thirsty. I
unzip her
need
tent.
water. I'm like, I unzip my tent. I'm like, give me your water bottle. So I
Yeah.
go fill up
Unzip
her
it
water
and I
bottle.
give it to her and I'm like, here.
She said,
And I was like,
I
yes,
love
I
you
want
even though
water.
I'm an asshole sometimes. I
I
still
love
love you. And
you.
I'm like, and I bring her water back and she said, and I don't think I ever said I love you back. And that's a big deal to me. So I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
was
she
like,
picked
oh,
up on
she
that. I
hates
was
me.
like,
Oh, I noticed you didn't say it back. I
Yeah.
definitely noticed.
No, you guys
And
are a hoot.
yeah, and I was
Okay,
still
yeah.
mad at that moment. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
love
but
you,
okay,
even though I'm
but
an
that's how it should
asshole.
be, right? Like you should have the space to be mad and have the space to be able to take space for yourself, but understand that it's your rally brain, it's not your friendship brain.
Yeah,
And these are decisions or feelings
I
that you're
think,
having because you're more exhausted than ever before.
and I
ever.
think that's true for us, and I think that's true for a lot of people. But I think
Yeah.
some people and how their life, I think everybody's life circumstances makes them a little bit more different. Everybody's different. And so I think sometimes it's not people's rally brain. And some people it's like that's just not who they are. And so I think that's part of the rally too. And so like I said, it really matters who you choose to go into this with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
But let's circle back to your shower comment because I have this track record of taking showers in weird places that is it is just abysmal. I took a shower on a train once and after I put the soap on me, the water ran out. Um,
Did you get to wash it off?
well, there was this little drizzle of like almost boiling hot water coming out,
Oh,
and so I was like catching it in my hand and like trying to rinse myself off. Yeah. And so my rally showers, I had while I definitely appreciate the showers, don't get me wrong, Emily Miller, like I love having
yeah.
showers at the rally. Um, they were all cold. And in the morning they wouldn't let us into the tent, I just from habit woke up early and so I decided to go take a shower. And since I was the first one, the hot water wasn't running. So it was my problem, not the rally shower problem.
Yeah.
But the hot water wasn't running through the pipes yet. So it was ice cold. That one woke
Oh,
me up.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think I took 2 showers. Pretty sure I took two
You've
showers. They
rinsed
were,
off a couple times. So it's just
yeah,
because it
it
was just,
wasn't, it
yeah.
was not a shower. I
Yeah.
basically just kind of rinsed off
Well, you weren't
and
supposed to. Like, you were supposed to save the water. Like, these people, we
Yeah.
saw people coming out with like full grown towels and like
yeah, I
they
was
just
like,
had a
no, I
spa.
was
We were
taking
like,
it to heart. Like, I was like, she said limit it to 5 minutes. And I'm like, I think the water never ran
yeah,
fully more than 90 seconds for me.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
yeah.
so just literally, I need to rinse this off of me. Yeah, I
The
was
Yeah.
so
grime and
fast, but it was
especially after
hot.
dunes.
I had hot water every time.
Yeah, I'm just it's me. It's me. It's not the showers. Just like the luck of the draw for me. And that's
Yeah,
Y'all are
why
so cute. I didn't shower the whole time. I used wipes maybe a couple of nights.
I used
yeah,
wipes on the nights I didn't shower. Yeah,
I used
Kara,
wipes a couple
Kara's thankful.
times. Yeah.
It's stinky.
Oh my gosh, my feet. Did you get rally feet? So Tara Lynn warned me my first rookie year. She
No,
was like, even if your feet don't smell normally, like your feet will stink on the
mine
rally. And
didn't.
no,
No,
that's been
no,
true for me.
not at
Like I
all.
can't even take my shoes off in the tent.
No.
It's
Really?
the worst. Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah, I was
horrible.
fine.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was totally fine. I didn't have any. Like I said, I just used a couple of the Clean
Clean
Freak
freaks.
wipes, hmm and didn't
Nice.
have any issues. I did sleep one night with. I think it was the first night in Johnson Valley. I slept with my goggles on, so that was lovely because the
Yeah,
sand was so bad that
it
night.
was dusty. Yeah,
Yeah.
sandy.
We left ours in the truck. We left
Oh
our goggles in the
Oh
truck.
no.
no.
I
We
know, I know.
we remembered ours because I was like, it's sandy and don't know what's gonna
It was
happen
the
tonight.
worst. Between
Yeah.
that night and the
And
Glamis night,
Glamis. Oh,
we
I
did
yeah.
slept
not
like a
stake our tent
baby.
down. Well, you slept
That
in the
Glamis,
vehicle, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that Glamis night really set me up for not having a very focused day on Friday. That night was
Yeah.
really, really bad for me.
And then did you plot that night or did you wake up in the morning?
I was up until
She was up pretty late. I remember not seeing
11
her
or
live on. Yeah.
11:30
Mhm.
plotting. Yeah, because I had
Yeah.
plotted on both maps, three
Yeah.
maps even. Some of the plots were on the 200,000 scale map, like I don't remember 7, 8, 9 or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I did both.
I'm a morning plotter. Like I do better in the morning, but I tried to plot that night and I plotted the same 3 checkpoints like 4 times and finally I was like I just need to get up early because this isn't going to work. And then it was so windy. I was like and
So
then I had to figure out how to plot inside the car. Yeah, that was hard
So one of
yeah,
because
your
there was an
lessons could have been like,
opening
you've
in
got
my
to take
tent.
advantage.
There was an opening in my tent where it just came up and through, and
yeah.
it was
Well,
really bad, the
when I was
sand.
trying to plot in the tent the night before, the sand was coming in and it was getting on my map. And you know those pens and stuff that we use, if you wipe the sand, it just erases your stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Or it
friction
It,
can
pens.
leave marks.
Hmm.
that too, yeah. And they look like roads,
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
way. Those little
White
gray
dirt
marks
on them.
that it leaves, it looks like
Yeah.
a road. And that road doesn't exist.
Nope.
Um, yeah. So, like, I know. I should have just gone with my gut and been like, I'm going to bed and I'm getting up early. I can't waste my time, like, trying to plot at night. Like, it's just I have my
Hmm.
best brain in the morning. Plus, we got caught in the long fuel line that night.
That
Mm.
night, going,
Yeah,
We
yeah,
were
we
having
going
fuel
added
to
it up.
issues.
marathon night.
Yeah, that was like an 18-hour day for us, like, from the time
Yeah.
we got up until the time we finally got to bed.
Yeah.
And then I had to get up early the next morning and plot. Yeah, that was a tough day.
I had a,
I'm very
that
thankful that
was
we were able to get fuel though. Like I can
personally,
imagine.
personally as a navigator, that I feel like just functioning, that was my hardest day. Maybe not the hardest day navigating, but that was my hardest day.
Yeah,
Even
functionally, I would
without
agree
that
with that.
ending, without the ending that we had, that was
Yeah.
by far my hardest day.
Yeah, I definitely agree with
It
that. It
was
was the day,
considerable for me.
yeah, yeah, for
I think
sure.
I think that was the hardest day for me too because of that long transit. Like Joshua's tree was beautiful, and part of me like I know she's like gives us these gifts of the course, right? Like Joshua, she was gorgeous. I love that area and I love that drive. But
Mhm.
after being so exhausted, that's like day 7, and you're going on this long hour and a half just driving. Like as a
Yeah,
driver, that wore me down because I was just so tired. I was like,
yeah,
I need a nap.
yeah,
Hmm.
and then coming into Johnson Valley, which is a hard area to navigate.
Yeah.
Yeah, the King of
I
the
like the
Hammers.
side we were on
Yeah.
that day better than the first
Oh,
side.
really? I'm the
Yeah,
opposite. I know the other side better, like west of Soggy Lake. I know that much better than the King
okay.
of the Hammer side. I don't know that side as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been more in the King of the Hammer side, and
Yeah.
I like that it's more open versus, like, all the weird roads. I like that better.
Hmm.
Anyways, yeah. Alright,
It
so
was
you guys are
fun.
coming back next year? That's
Oh, yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Going for first because, your rookie year's gone, you only got second.
I know we need to
Whatever.
reevaluate what goals we want this
I don't
year.
know. I don't even
We
want
did
to
get a
set a
lot of our
goal.
goals.
I just
Yeah,
Oh,
want
we have
you.
to set goals.
You
We
I
have
just set
have
it
to
for
set
me. Just let
goals.
me know what it is.
I can
Well,
make a
My
couple
goal is
off
to
our
do
head.
better than I
I'll
did
be
this year. That's
interested to
my
hear
goal.
those when you guys have that conversation.
Yeah.
But Kara, can we tell them our news?
Oh yeah, let's.
So I am stealing Kara away from Danielle. No, just kidding. Kara is joining me this year as my co-host for the
Yep.
Story from the Dirts podcast.
Yeah. Super excited about that. I
Yeah.
am so pumped to be able to talk to other people. I like, even on Ozark Related Adventures, I did the podcast for a while on there because I just like hearing people's stories, and stories from the
Mhm.
dirt kind of goes hand in hand. But like just finding out people's journeys and what's led them to choosing and doing the things that they loved. It's fascinating because we all are so different, but we all find this commonality of being able to travel and push ourselves.
Yeah, expand our skills. Danielle and
Yep.
I just omitted Kara before we started recording, talking about some sourdough. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I
there's
don't know
lots
what
of
that
different
is.
ways that we all connect. But yeah, so I'm super excited to welcome Kara to the podcast. as my
Oh.
regular co-host. She's going to be helping with the social media, so we expect that to get a little better because I'm not the best at that.
Ugh.
Danielle, oh yeah, no pressure, no pressure. And of course, we'll bring Danielle on more often than not, so we can keep her in the loop too.
Yeah.
She's an important part of this threesome here.
Oh yeah, definitely on my side.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for allowing me to steal Cara.
Absolutely. She's good at this stuff.
She is
Have
good at this
fun.
stuff. I'm really
What's
excited.
what's what's new for you, Avis? What's coming up for you?
Nothing. I am not signing up for
Resting.
the rally next year. I made that decision before the rally this year. This year was 3 years in a row for me, and that's a lot. It's a lot. It demands a lot of your time and efforts during the year, and so this year I'm looking forward to doing a little more travel that we have on our bucket list. So that's going to be fun. Seeing some more friends while we travel this year. But yeah, so I'm not saying no, but I am saying I'm not signing up. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of a free agent for maybe the right opportunity. But
Yeah.
um yeah, so this year we're just gonna focus on some other things.
That's
So
fun though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
mean
takes a lot out of you.
it does. We do a lot of travel, and even, surrounding the Rebelle, we do a lot of travel, surrounding trainings and stuff like that. But it'll be fun. Like this year we went to Montana to build the truck at Liz's house, and we thought we would have time to see Montana, but turns out Liz and I are really slow at mechanicking, and we didn't have time to do anything else. So things like that. Like we spent a week in Montana and didn't really see it.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
we're
I've
hoping
always
just
wanted to go
to
there.
yeah. So we're hoping just to put more emphasis on travel and seeing things for the purpose of travel and seeing things versus travel for the rally.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I'm hoping to still, be involved, do some trainings, keep up my skills.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Want to host the Labor Day weekend practice weekend again. I mean,
Heck
I
That's
yeah.
love
fun.
doing that. Yeah. So we have some ideas circling around for that for this year, but
Yeah.
yeah. And keeping up the podcast and making it, even better than it has been.
And
Awesome.
I know Danielle plans to do a lot of motorcycle riding, so
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You have,
Yes.
like, some multi-thousand-mile trip planned, right?
Yes.
Or did you
Next
already do that?
year.
Next
No.
year.
Planning on doing that next year when Bryce, my husband, is done teaching in the spring. We want to go ahead and take off um, for 3-ish months. If we do the entire route that we're considering doing, it'll be 11,000 miles total. So, yeah, that'll be really fun. In December, we are starting the Big Bend BDR down in South Texas just came out
Oh, good.
last week, and so we're us, Bryce and I, Kara and Matt. Kara's going to be support in her Jeep. Matt, her husband, on a bike, and then two of our other friends on a bike. We're going to be going to do the BDR down there in December.
Mhm.
Super excited about that. We're going to take, probably 6 or 7 days to do it. I think it's 600 plus miles of,
Oh,
Oh,
fun.
and it's
yeah,
hard.
yeah, you should watch the
I
video.
love that area.
You should watch the video though. Like, I'm a little nervous. Like, not nervous, but I mean, I basically will go in bubble wrapped, and so I should be fine. But yeah, I didn't ride my motorcycle much leading up to the rally because I just didn't want to break anything, and so I really
Yeah,
missed it. And I'm already back
right?
at it hard. My
Maybe we'll
motorcycle's
just
parked in
invite
the front yard
ourselves
right
to
now.
follow along with Kara.
Yeah.
We love that area. Fun fact, that area is not on radar, so you never know what the weather is unless you call.
Hmm.
Like, we spent, 2 years in a row down there around New Year's Eve, and we were like, "Hey, the weather is always great here," and we got down there, and they got some freak snowstorm, and we're like, "How come that's not on the radar?" And they're like,
Because
"It's a blind spot in the US
Texas.
radar system."
Yeah,
But
we lived
yeah,
in
South
Texas.
Texas for sure, yeah. But no, that's a beautiful area. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. I'm
It'll be fun for
excited.
me. Hopefully they don't crash.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I said, maybe we'll just invite ourselves and follow along with Kara. Who
Yeah.
Oh,
knows?
we're
You could
gonna
you could bring
crash
the Jeep.
plenty. We're
Bring
gonna
The
the
Jeep.
crash
Jeep.
plenty.
My
Yeah.
Jeep. Bring my Jeep. You
Bring your
still have
Jeep
my
on.
Jeep.
I do. I have Boo, and I see Boo every morning. We work out together. The other day, I walked out and the
Have
door
you
was
washed
open.
it yet? I'm still hoping that you're
No.
gonna wash it.
Maybe. You never know, you never know. It's Boo has just been, chilling in the garage.
Mhm.
I went out one day and I was like, "Oh, there's a loose sway bar bolt,"
Yep.
as I was putting my shoes on, and then the other day I was like, "Why is the back door still open?" I guess last time you guys left it, the back door wasn't, like, fully shut, but I took care of that.
Thanks. Battery's probably
Um,
dead. It's fine.
I could put it on the trickle charger. Matt said it didn't need it.
She was driven rough that last week. She's probably
Yeah,
tired.
hard.
We
That's
are
that
all
the
tired.
rally takes a toll on a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. The Tacoma came out pretty well. The one day we were doing an enduro, the really long one where it was impossible to get to those last two basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our Terra trip, both screws decided to back out at the same time. I was
Oh
like,
no.
what is this rattling noise? And I was like touching things and I was like, oh my gosh, the Terra trip is like it's gonna fall off. So I'm like holding the
Oh
Terra trip with
no.
my left hand, trying to read my papers, trying to give Liz, and I'm like, it's this distance. And she's like, I can't see the distance. Your hand is in the way. And I was like, okay. So like, and I'm trying not to push any buttons. That was like the most dramatic thing that we have happen, which is not bad in the grand scheme of
No.
things.
Yeah.
No.
No, but that was exciting
Yeah.
I will
in a bad
say
way.
props to everybody on the rally. Like Emily is incredible putting it together, but like the mechanics, the whole crew, the kitchen staff, like it's incredible what they can do. Like put an engine in an overnight. Like that's just I mean, granted it's an older vehicle, so I think it's like basically connecting a couple plugs. If it was a newer vehicle, it would have been a mess, but like
Yeah, Liz and I were discussing that. Could they do it
crazy.
because it was an older vehicle
Oh, I think so.
versus a new vehicle? Yeah.
Yeah. We've
Or
I
would they
mean,
did they
credit
even try to attempt it
Yeah.
because it was
credit
older?
to Nick. Credit to Nick, but I don't think it would have been as easy.
no, we've
Yeah.
engine swapped on our old trucks, but I don't even want to like clean the air filter in our new trucks.
Part of me feels like, if this is your job and you are excited about your job and they're like, "Ooh, you could do an engine swap," and they're like, "Heck yeah," they're not letting that opportunity go, right? Like,
They
how
probably,
often do they
as
switch
tired
out
as
an
they
engine?
were, yeah,
Yeah.
it was incredible.
At least it happened on the very beginning of the rally. Of course, we were on the very end. Nick was like, I was about to make me a drink and prop my feet open, thinking about a great rally. I was like, way
Psych.
to keep it going. And then after that, like he was the one whenever we were leaving that night. I don't know, Danielle, if you've seen this, but like that side by side that was flipped on its side,
Uh-huh.
Nick was out there recovering it. And so
Oh
Yeah.
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy. Poor guys.
Yeah. Yeah. We went in the one night, just to check the oil because, we got our truck back the Friday before
Same.
we left for the rally. And so we like opened the hood and then they weren't doing much. So Mike Schaefer comes over and he's like all poking around in the engine bay. And I was like, well, I appreciate it. I also don't really want to find anything wrong. So,
Don't look.
Bye. Go away.
Yeah. I was like, we're not trying to find anything wrong. We're just making sure there's oil in it.
We're like, can we just use your blower? Oh my gosh. Which Matt told me, like, so we blew off. It was so much silt and dust. Danielle, I say we, Danielle, she went over
Uh-huh.
there and like got the leaf blower and was blowing it all off and cleaning it off. Well, there was apparently a team, I don't know who this was, that brought like a car wash.
No.
Like it's its own wash system. And they did
No.
that. Yes, they did that. So that way they could have their sponsors and everything showing. It
Nope.
went like we wiped ours
Yeah.
down so that way you could see what you could see, but I just can't imagine.
Nope.
Like
I did not have that kind of
No.
energy.
No.
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 I'm just not that teammate to where I'm just too tired. Like priorities and
Yeah.
washing my vehicle is like way down here.
Mhm.
Yeah. The one gas station going into Self Camp 1 had a hose.
Oh, we
And
did rinse it off, yeah.
well, the line was like 10 cars long by the time we got there. And I was like, no. Mm-mm.
You should have
So
waited in line. It was a full service line. I was going around filling up everybody's washer fluids.
were you? We had plenty of washer fluid. Liz forgot that if you pull the thing, like in her rally exhaustion, like the one day I was like, "Hey, do you think we can clean the window?" And she's like, "Yeah, when we go to the gas station." I was like, "Are we not using the?" And it was an honest question for me because I'm not the driver. I was like, "Are we not using the washer fluid for any particular reason?" And she was like, "Oh my God, we have window washer stuff." And she like pulls the handle and she's like, "That's amazing." Like,
Well, it was like you had to time it right, because if you
It
didn't,
would be
if you did
mud.
it when it would be
right.
mud. And so it's
Yeah.
like you're mostly just using your windshield wipers, which that's the true MVP of this whole thing with scrub blades.
Yeah.
Like those things are
Yeah.
incredible. I will have those for the rest of my life.
I love those.
Yeah. Although I need to adjust, my light bar was put on the Monday before we left, and with my old wipers, they cleared it, and the scrub blades are not
Oh
clearing it. So
no.
I need to make that small adjustment. But
Yeah, it was a great
yeah.
rally.
And that's what she said. Like she had gotten used to only using the wipers for the silt and forgot that it had
Makes
like
sense.
washing capabilities. And we did that, and we were both like, "Wow,
Whoa.
you can see there's a whole world out there."
Oh.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, washing my vehicle, I haven't even, washed my vehicle. So, I went to our four-wheel drive shop and we made trunk or treat decorations for 4 different vehicles with my first year teammate. She manages the shop here in town, and she was like, "Hey, our wash station is up and running. Do you wanna wash the Tacoma?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." So, I parked it and then she washed it. I was just watching, and I was like, "This is amazing." And then I came home and Rob cleaned the inside for me, and I was like, "This is amazing."
If you need to do that with my Jeep, you know where the keys are.
Okay, okay. I'm hearing that you would like Boo to be washed. I can probably arrange that.
I just don't want to wash it. That's just really all it is.
I mean, so over at Dixie four-wheel drive, they have a high-powered pressure washer, and Tara sprayed the underneath of my truck for a good 5 minutes, and the silt that came out,
Oh
she
yeah.
said she almost busted her butt later that day because it was, like, so thick
Oh
in the
my
parking lot
gosh.
in the wash bay. I know. It is incredible everywhere that it settled.
Fun time.
Yeah. But anyways. All right, ladies. Have we covered everything?
Yeah,
I
I think
think so.
so.
If not, we'll circle back around in another episode.
We'll be here.
It was a good time.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Cara, we look forward to having you as co-host. We
look
appreciate you
forward to
guys
too.
sharing all of your great stories.
Thank you.
It was a blast. Thank you for
All right.
having us.
Thanks.